What's going on, guys? The Dodgers take their talents to Denver for 3 games against the Colorado Rockies at Coors Field. Yes, Coors Field, the place where ERAs go to die. We're previewing the series. We're looking for breakout stars, particularly on the Dodgers side of things, on this edition of the All Dodgers podcast. Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. It's a pre-series edition, whatever we're previewing. That's fun. We don't really do that, but we are part of the Believe network of podcasts. What's going on, Clint Nation, Clef Nation, whatever we're calling it, Dodgers fans? My name is Clint Pasillas. Find me as Real FRG on the social media platforms. Also joining us today is the great Snydog, we'll call him, Jeff Snyder. Find him on the internet at Snydog, and all the way to my, well, I guess screen right, my left here is Skinner7 Kevin, or Skinner Kevin, if you're saying it backwards. Anyways, enough trying to overdo this intro. Like the show, subscribe to the show. We'd appreciate it if you do that on the YouTube. Rate the show, review the show on the Apple, the Spotify. That's something that really, really, really does help out our show, our network, and we could get this thing bigger and blowy up or something like that. But anyways, Jeff, we have a series in Colorado. Before we talk about that, how are you doing? And then we'll find out how Kevin is doing in his pursuit of a beard.
I'm doing good. I've got my beard, so what more could a guy want? You know?
Yeah. Oh, that's what everybody needs, right? Kevin, how's it going? Are we gonna can we bully you into growing a beard?
No, I told you, no amount of prayers, gypsy oil, snake oil can make me grow a beard currently.
But have you tried bullying?
Yeah, you could bully your way to a beard. Listen,
my dad had a beard. I just can't do it.
I was never really overly gifted with beard when I was younger, but because I am on the Mexican side of the ledger, when you have a last name like, as you see below me, Pasillas, I did grow a beard pretty decently eventually, probably around 19 or whatever. And I mentioned in the chat when I was trolling you guys yesterday during your first stream together, and good job you guys holding it down when Jeff didn't know where a lot of the buttons were using the software for the first time.
My mom said she didn't notice any clunkiness, so you know what?
Don't worry. Approved. I noticed. But I had some killer mutton chops, and I'm just saying 20,000 subscribers, maybe I bring back the chops. So I'm just throwing it out there. I'm going to keep the goatee, though, because you need the goatee to hide the fat.
Can I tell you guys a deep, dark secret of mine?
Oh, hold on. We need a solo for that. That says my name on it, but you know.
Yeah, I'm not Clint Pasillas. Don't put this on Clint. When I was in high school, I couldn't grow facial hair at all, at all. But I really wanted sideburns because it was the mid '90s, and Jason Priestley, Matthew, whatever his name is, Luke Perry, not Matthew Perry. Anyway, and so what I did is I'll take the headphones off so I can demonstrate.
Oh, we can talk crap about them.
I grew this part of my hair long, so it could hang down. So I had sideburns, and when I didn't want sideburns, I could just tuck them back behind my ear. Know what they were called? My Snideburns. Oh, you accidentally hit the wrong button, Clint. Oh, you hit the other wrong button.
Wait. I got there. That one works. That one's very loud and obnoxious. All right, let's
if you're
talk.
Listening on the podcast version, just picture the most pathetic thing you've ever seen. That's what you just missed on the video.
It was pretty bad. Guys, let's talk quickly before we dive into this Coors Field series. Let's talk quickly about our friends at BetOnline, because BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your sports betting action. With baseball season in full swing, football season around the corner, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting right over there at BetOnline. MLB games, UFC matches, tennis, NFL futures. BetOnline remains your choice for sports wagering info. If you're in between games, not a game happening, or whenever it may be, maybe your game isn't that day, you can head over to the BetOnline casino. They have all the top Vegas style games, including poker. There's a live casino there. Do check it out. It does help us out here as well at the network. Head to the website today. Take advantage of their industry leading VIP program with level up bonuses, weekly cash boosts, and more. BetOnline. The game starts here, and the Dodgers preview, that's the wrong button. The Dodgers preview of a series against the Rockies at Coors Field begins now. And Jeff, you said it's a good place to hit, and Rockies pitchers are good to hit off of. What do you think about this series? What are you feeling for it?
I think the Dodgers are the best offensive team in baseball, even if they haven't been showing it the last couple weeks necessarily. And I think we're probably going to see what happens when the best offensive team in baseball shows up to Coors Field. They put up 7 runs in 2/3 of an inning against German Marquez at Dodger Stadium. I assume just straight math tells me like 72 runs and negative a third of an inning or something tonight. Maybe not quite that bad. And because baseball's dumb, Marquez will definitely do better than he did at Dodger Stadium, but he's not going to do well. Like the Dodgers are going to take him behind the woodshed again. And maybe he gets through 3 innings this time and counts it as a moral victory. But the Dodgers are hot take here. You got a hot take button? Dodgers are a better team than the Rockies.
Is it a whistle? Is that a hot take? Kevin,
we got to update the soundboard. We got to get you some better sounds.
I mean, I have a lot of things here. I could do this. Does that work? I don't know. I can't hear them anymore for what it's worth.
Oh,
but
it's not 6 a.m. and I'm not on a military base, so no, that one's not working.
Kevin, what are you looking for in this series before we dive into like the actual specifics of players and getting better and all that? Just overall, piggybacking off of what Hefe had to say there.
My general rule with any time you go to Coors is just get out of there healthy. Just make sure all your soft tissue remains intact, doesn't get hyperextended or hypoextended, nothing weird happens to anyone. Shoulders stay attached to the general chest.
Keep joints in each other's in the correct sockets. I agree.
Not in each other's sockets, but your own sockets.
Yeah.
And then, but actually though, with kind of the Dodgers went through that massive gauntlet of really good teams.
Yep.
We are now still technically playing Major League Baseball teams. That being said, this is that soft spot in the schedule where I would really like to see them capitalize on it and maybe not gain any ground because the teams that are below them in the standings are also playing technically major league teams, but at least don't give up any ground.
Yeah, I mean, that's an important thing here. Like, I was slightly worried about a potential series letdown against the Nats just because you had the emotional series with the Rockies and all of this, but the Dodgers played well enough. You take 2 of 3, you probably want to sweep. This one feels like they need to go out there and sweep. Like, we'll talk more about it, but you have an opener today, and this is where we're at right now, of course, with the Los Angeles Dodgers. You'd like to be able to run out 3 legitimate starters, but you do have your ace, and you have your other longtime ace going in the series with Clayton Kershaw going in Game 3, which I have some qualms about. We'll talk about later in the show. But in the spirit of keeping the show shorter, sweeter, tighter, because Jeff does have to leave at some point, and it's pre-game, pre-series preview, all that kind of stuff. Let's talk about who is going to break out in this series, because this is a series that absolutely screams breakout, and we know the top of the lineup for this team has been struggling. Shohei figured out how to hit again on Sunday, but Mookie needs to do something. Teo needs to do something. Freddie would love to do something, and so on and so forth. So, Jeff, who is going to break out in this series?
For me, I feel like it's Freddie. I think it needs to be Freddie because for Freddie, like obviously the overall numbers this season are still good, but lately he's been much worse than he had been, and especially in the power department. He's not hitting the ball as far, and Colorado might be a good place to fix that. It's been a month and a half since Freddie's hit a home run, longest streak of his career, and I think I said this the other day, like, what better place than Colorado to just sneak one over the fence in right field? Doesn't even have to be a 450 footer. Just hit a home run, get that off your back, and then go back to. Colorado is a great place to hit doubles, and Freddie loved to hit doubles. That's a huge outfield. So get one over the wall in right field, and then just spray doubles all over the field, and get back to being Freddie Freeman. That's the thing. Like, Freddie Freeman hasn't looked like himself the last several weeks. As far as, hitting hard line drives, opposite field, that sort of thing, and the occasional pulled home run. So if he can do those things a few times over the next 3 days, I think that could be what it takes for his bat to wake up and for him to remember, oh yeah, this is how Freddie Freeman hits.
Yeah, when we were talking, Alana and I were talking yesterday in Dodgers territory, I said you got to treat this series as the practice girl, and Freddie needs himself a practice girl, Mookie needs himself a practice girl, so on and so forth. They just need to get right, get their confidence going again, and I think with Freddie, it might be more mechanical. Mookie, I feel, is a little bit of confidence. But Kevin, what are you watching? What do you need to see in this series from somebody near the top of the lineup?
Yeah, they my guy Teoscar, they bumped him down to 6. I think that's the right move. Will Smith is the best catcher in the National League, second best catcher in baseball. He definitely deserves to be hitting cleanup. I know there's somebody out there on the internet who loves to call him the janitor for that, but for me, it's Teoscar. He hasn't been swinging poorly necessarily. He's still getting on base. He's just not swinging with any power. He has no doubles in the month of June. Or might have one. We talked about this on the last time we were on the stream. Outside of like that 1 3-game stretch where he hit 3 homers in a row, he only has 1 homer outside of that in the last month. He's been sapped for power, and Coors is MLB's version of Viagra. He just needs a little bit of help. And that's what I'm hoping to see out of Teoscar in this series. It's just a little bit of elevation, some of those warning track flyouts, eventually make it over the wall. He had that big moment last year with the check swing and then hits a grand slam on the next pitch. Jake Cave loses his mind. It was a phenomenal moment. But outside of that, Teoscar has actually hit very well at Coors in 7 games. He has a 1.097 OPS, so he's got the ability to hit for power. This is just the time to do it right now. And I think that paired with moving down in the lineup a little bit less pressure on him, I think we could really see Teoscar, like Jeff mentioned, spraying doubles. Teoscar's been going to the opposite field a little bit more often now. I think we could see him starting to get some doubles out there too. Yeah,
that would be terrific. Find some grass. That's the biggest thing. Like Jeff was saying, had kind of mentioned in his rant, if we want to call it that, his diatribe, whatever we're going to call it, about Freddie Freeman. It's not about the homers all the time at Coors Field. It's about the expansive outfield. Not expensive. It is very expansive. There's a lot of grass out there, and that plays perfectly because I think when Teo's at his best and when he is driving in runs, which is also what probably his most important role on this team. He is finding grass. He's hitting doubles. It's not always about the big tank, but he does save those for special occasions like the postseason and all that kind of stuff. For me, what I'm looking for is seeing Michael Conforto get. No, I'm just checking. I'm digging around here. You got to see Mookie Betts get going because this is a guy we talked about over the weekend. The struggles for Mookie, they're real with the bat, and we need to see Mookie kind of step up and get his confidence going. If I'm going to mention again the practice girl, Mookie's the one. He needs to learn to dance again, have a little fun with the bat and a baseball, find some grass, not find a either straight up or a chop out to the left side. Just line drives, easy swing, line drives, find some barrels. That's the biggest thing. I think Mookie has been struggling to find the middle part of the middle of the bat, and I would love to see that going for him again because if we get Mookie going again, suddenly this very good lineup is going to become extremely dangerous because they haven't been doing it with smoke and mirrors, but it kind of feels like they've been doing it with smoke and mirrors, relying on some incredible production out of Max Muncy. Of course, Andy Pages being the real deal, and Ha-Seong Kim when he's allowed to play. But if you can get Marcus Lynn Betts going again at the top of the lineup, everything else just sets up in place and let him keep playing a very good shortstop, and then we're going to feel a lot better. But that's my guy. I need to, I joked around about Conforto. We probably should talk Conforto for a second, but I need to see Mookie going. Any thoughts on that, Jeff?
Yeah, I think for all 3 of these guys and, Conforto and Shohei, whose slump is shorter and less pronounced, but, and Tommy Edman, all these guys, Coors Field rewards line drives. And that's the thing that everywhere you play, you want to be hitting line drives, but Coors Field more than anywhere else rewards line drives. They turn into singles and doubles and triples. And so if they can all, I think if all those guys can just have a couple of games where they hit line drives and get rewarded for it.
Yes.
Conforto has hit some line drives this season, not been rewarded. Even he could break out, but everybody who's struggling and the guys who aren't struggling hit line drives and realize, oh yeah, good things happen when you hit the ball, 18-degree launch angle at 102 miles an hour. You're going to have a pretty good numbers at that point. Go get him, and that's the thing.
That's the thing. That's the
thing.
thing. We lost
Feel
him.
the benefits.
Sorry,
Oh.
your internet decided to bail there, so I'm assuming we missed a great end to your statement there.
Yeah,
What was
just-
the last 3 seconds?
Everybody just think of the smartest thing you can think of. That's what I just said.
Jeff gave us the lottery numbers, and we all missed it together. I'm seeing the chat talk about the lineup today specifically, and the fact that Ha-Seong Kim not being in the lineup. I'll throw this up here real quick. You notice that. And if we're talking about a little bit around the idea of Michael Conforto, who, by the way, 303 career hitter at Colorado, 33 for 109. If that does anything for you, I do think this is Conforto's final series to real. I think, or maybe it's just prayer, it's hope, whatever it is. This could be Conforto's final series to really show that he deserves, or he deserves any more runway, because we have kind of maxed out the amount of runway this dude deserves, if we're all being honest. But if he's had any sort of success at Coors Field, and Coors Field has the ability to help everybody find that confidence and feel better about themselves, maybe it does help. Kevin, do you have any hope for Michael Conforto in this series, or can we finally start after this the shift, the phase into more Kim?
So I was thinking about it. And
Don't hurt yourself with thinking.
Some of the reason they're not putting Kim in there is because the outfield is so big and he's going to be playing center. So they might not want to overexpose him to a big center field where he could very easily, because the ball just travels so weird, he's just going to maybe misplay something. This is his first time at Coors too. So there possibly some of that. Unfortunately, there is hope for Conforto just because the underlying metrics are still pretty good. Like, they're not spectacular, but they would indicate that it's a lot better than his outcomes currently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's still smoking the ball 100 and whatever miles an hour. It's just directly at people. So again, if he could get a little more lift or something, yeah, we could see a breakout. I just, we were talking about it a little before we hopped on. I think even with the breakout, I'm kind of at this point where I don't really know what he's doing. Ha-Seong Kim is like good enough, and he's a better defender, and he's more reliable. He's a better base runner. He brings more to the table than Conforto does.
At this point, he has a higher upside.
Yeah, and
Easy.
at that point, it relegates Conforto to being a bench bat, and we could find better bench bats than Michael Conforto out there. So I don't really know. I hope he does, because I want to see him succeed, but I don't even know if he succeeds, if it's going to be wearing Dodger blue.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if Conforto's not in the starting lineup, he doesn't have a place on the roster. And we said the same thing a few years ago. I said about Kenley Jansen, if he's not the closer, doesn't have a spot in the bullpen. Like, if he's not, and that's kind of where we're at with Conforto. If he can't figure this out, and like you said, Kevin, you look at the underlying numbers, like his xWOBA, expected weighted on base, 53rd percentile, which is just fine. It's better than average a little bit. But the actual number, his bat speed, 72nd percentile, hard hit percentage, 63rd percentile, average exit velocity, 62nd percentile. A lot of these numbers say, yeah, he should be having a better season than he is. But at some point, if he's not yet, can we really say it's bad luck? And some of it, because, it's been different things at different times. He'll have stretches where he does actually have bad luck. He had a stretch, a 3-game series where it was like he should have had 5 hits and instead he had 0, but then also he hits the ball on the ground to the right side a lot, the Gavin Lux disease, or, whatever you want to call it. But, we saw with Gavin Lux last year. Like, right now, at this time last year, Clint, you had started a campaign at whitehouse.gov to have Gavin Lux drawn and quartered and executed. And he ended up becoming a decent hitter.
Yeah.
And so all the same things we're saying about Conforto are the things we're saying about Gavin Lux 1 year ago right now. And Gavin Lux ended up, obviously, that doesn't say many good things for Conforto's long-term future with the team, because I don't know if you heard, Gavin Lux isn't on the team anymore, but Gavin Lux ended up being the best option for them in the lineup last year after he remembered how to hit.
So, to help out Michael Conforto, We're going to send him to visit Coach Uncle Augie, or whatever it is in Milwaukee. Dodgers do play the Brewers first series after the All-Star break, which is in about 4 weeks, whatever it is. We can also just send him to the chiropractor, Muncie's chiropractor for fun. Send him to Kike's optometrist, and that's it. And that's
the All-Star break's a long time. He could hit all three of them over the court because, spoiler alert, he's not going to make the All-Star team. So.
Yeah, he has literally that entire 4-game stretch off. By the way, I want to hang out with the chat a little bit here. We're getting some love from this is Geshmake, if I'm saying it right, but saying really enjoying the collab here. It's not even a collab. This is the show now, guys. This is you're going to see one of the 3 of our faces on here on the All Dodgers channel all the time. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Rate the shows, all that kind of stuff. Hit the thumbs up. It's the best way to support the channel here. Another way you can support the channel is by joining us on Patreon. Our YouTube members, it's $5 a month. With that, you are supporting independent Dodgers coverage, which is huge. You guys help us out directly. But with that, you also get access to our Discord server where we're talking about Dodgers baseball all day long. Server's blowing up right now. It's been a lot of fun talking about the Dodgers. We also just had our first game meetup a couple days ago, which was a lot of fun. Dodgers win, even better. Max Muncy, grand slam, 7 RBIs in that game. Hits his 200th career homer. That was a lot of fun to enjoy with friends and all that kind of stuff. We also have watch parties, a whole bunch of stuff. Shohei Ohtani starting a baseball game. Yeah, that was a thing. So anyways, do check that out, patreon.com/realfrg, or click the join button here on YouTube. Both the links are in the description below. But appreciate Geshmake for the love in the chat.
I got one more thing. I saw a comment that said Lux last year, Lux wasn't as bad as Conforto before his turnaround.
Yeah.
June 24th, Michael Conforto's OPS right now is 565. June 24th last year, Gavin Lux's OPS was 566. So, yes, technically he wasn't as bad as Conforto. He was 1 point of OPS better.
I feel like that's your favorite thing to do, by the way.
What, you provide statistical evidence?
Yeah. When somebody says, I feel, or they say just something that feels like a statement, like a reasonable statement, and Jeff will be like, no, you're wrong, or you're kind of
search,
yeah, which I very much appreciate. But yeah, I was Lux is the best connective tissue there, which is why I say let's send him over to Uncle Augie, whatever it is. But Dad Braves had said which of the 3 of us is a worst influence on each other. I would definitely say Jeff on Kevin, I think, is going to be a problem. He's already I haven't bullied Kevin for the most part in the year of doing this together, but all of a sudden we're demanding that he grows a beard or he's going to get murdered.
I didn't bully him. I started by telling him I have hope for him because I couldn't grow a beard till my 40s. So I mean, I'm here for Kevin and his beard growing exploits.
Mother Jeff and beard in the chat there from Philip Fountain. Well, that's not what it said. And also Alex appreciates that you're letting your hair down on this channel. The shackles are off. So that's what you're going to get. You're going to get it's a Jeff untethered, unhinged. Unhinged will eventually come. Unlock.
Oh, hey.
That's what it is. Hold on, wait. There. That's how we do it. All right, let's move on.
Let's found the right button.
Let's talk about some pitching, because pitching at Coors, I hate it. I hate everything about this. I hate that Clayton Kershaw's pitching in this series, partly because I was hoping they could find a way to line things up where Kershaw would get his 3,000th strikeout against the Houston Astros. But now I think that's going to be more difficult with him pitching on Thursday. Maybe not. I don't know. But, we have an opener going in this one, and everybody's always happy when they see an opener. I'm guessing. I haven't heard anything. I haven't read anything. I'm guessing Wrobleski is the long guy today. Did you see anything about that, Hefe?
Nothing official, but there's nobody else, so it's obviously going to be him.
Yeah, and Jack Dreyer getting the start. I think this is the open. This is the second or third open on the season. What are the thoughts on the pitching plan entering the series? You have the bullpen game. You have Yamamoto and you have Clayton Kershaw. I mean, I guess you kind of can't line it up too much better right now, because I'm at a point where I'm a little worried about Dustin May, including the bullpen games. I think Dustin May is the worst starter in the rotation right now. But that's another conversation.
I'm just liking this graphic because put it back up real quick. Look at those ERAs on the Rockies starters. Like that's what I'm happy about. Like I know we're talking about the Dodgers pitchers now, but that it doesn't really matter if it's Jack Dreyer or Justin Wrobleski or my dead grandma pitching today for the Dodgers. Like the Dodgers are going to score a bunch of runs this week. Yeah, and I think
in theory.
In theory, game's not played on paper, et cetera, et cetera. But if I don't know all the reasons for going with an opener here, especially when your bulk guy is a lefty, just like your opener. But it's probably just a matter of just seeing what guys can do and giving guys a chance to do different things. And Wrobleski has pitched at Coors Field one time, and it was in relief, and he had 4 scoreless innings in relief the second to last game of last season. And so maybe they like him in relief, or maybe just because Wrobleski's long-term role with this team is as a long reliever, so there's no point getting him into the mode of a starter. Whatever it is, I like Jack Dreyer, I like Justin Wrobleski, and whoever they end up throwing out there today, as long as the offense shows up, that's all that matters.
Yeah, for real. One of the things, Kevin, that I'm also before I dive in on like my Kershaw feelings here, Jeff had mentioned Jack Dreyer. We got a couple of rookies, couple of young pitchers, probably throwing at Coors Field for the first times in their careers, and that's always an adventure. These dudes trying to find their breaking balls. I mean, luckily we shouldn't see somebody like Benny Caps in this series. But how do you think? Is it really just Dreyer? I guess that's sort of a rookie. To the point, does Coors affect the kids in Colorado?
Yeah, I think you're always going to see something's not going to play the way that they want it to. I think Jack Dreyer specifically, because I think Vesia struggles with a similar problem where he doesn't get as much induced vertical break on his fastball, so the fastball looks a little flatter. And Dreyer is also somebody that plays, part of his game is he plays with that really high IVB. So I could definitely see him getting knocked around a little bit more. Here's the thing, though. Someone's got to pitch there. So, and like Jack Dreyer, for all it counts, is going to be a Dodger for a while. And guess what? He's going to have to pitch at Coors. Yeah. You got to, unfortunately, well, now everybody has to learn how to pitch at Coors, but we have to do it one extra series more than everybody else, which sucks. I would rather we just didn't. I think the Rockies' punishment for being this bad is they have to play all away games. So just so we don't have to subject our pitchers to Coors. But somebody's got to pitch there. Jack Dreyer is a perfect candidate. Yoshinobu also a perfect candidate because, God forbid, the Rockies get good. Guess who is going to need to pitch, more likely than not in those series? It'll be Yoshinobu. So I actually like it again, but that plays into what I said earlier about you just got to get out of there healthy. Yeah. It's a good experience. Just get out of there healthy, and also don't take away too much from it because it's just the pitch metrics go cattywampus out in Coors.
By the way, Michael has I don't know if it's a great idea, but it's one I laughed at. He said, "Dig grandma up, Jeffrey. Can she pitch?"
It's been a while. Like I may have exaggerated when I said that she could beat the Rockies because she's been dead for 28 years.
Fresh.
That's a long time.
She's fresh on the.
Rich Hill can do it.
All right, I take it back. My dead grandma couldn't beat the Rockies.
All right, listen. So you
said
something
on the Dodgers' current roster can.
That's I mean, I think the three of us could probably go out there, and if we're each throwing a baseball or whatever, maybe there's a chance we could beat the Rockies or something like that. But that said, these games are always high scoring. On DT yesterday, I predicted, it was gun to my head sort of thing. I said it's probably be like a 45 total run series between all three games and both teams, which would be probably good for the Dodgers offense and probably really bad for the Dodgers pitching ERAs because, again, pitching at Coors is quite very, very bad. But I want to talk about Kershaw in this series because we're on a roll with Clayton. He's like good, and feeling good, and we're sending him on the mound at Coors Field, where he hasn't been terrible in his career. It's like 4.3 ERA or whatever. But I just think it's not good for his trajectory. It's not good for my heart to see Clayton out there pitching at Coors Field, or maybe I'm just overreacting to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I really do think you're underselling the element of Kershaw gets to pitch against these Rockies hitters who are bad at baseball. Yeah. I really do think that will be – I think that'll be at least as big a factor as pitching at Coors Field. It's may not be as dominant as we want it to be because it is Coors Field, but it is like I think, after we talked about it the other day and you wanted them to hold Kershaw back for Kansas City, I think I would rather have Kersh pitch in Colorado because the Rockies are worse at hitting than the Royals. Kansas City is, I think, the second biggest outfield in baseball, so it's not like it's a much different hitting environment, obviously lower elevation. So the Arizona's thin, et cetera, et cetera. But I just think if you're a pitcher, you're signing up to pitch against this Rockies offense as many times as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I should probably think more about the offense rather than the awfulness that is the field itself. I'm trying to get a shot here set up properly. Almost done. We're almost there, I promise you. But for what it's worth, we're not starting this game on time, guys, because as Kevin sent to the chat during the show here, there is a severe thunderstorm going, so we might not get this game started. It might not even happen. We don't know very much, but eventually.
It says until 8 p.m. The game was supposed to start at, 6:40 local time?
I think so, yeah.
So it's about an hour.
So probably definitely starting in a delay.
So that much, knowing that now, I'm going to have to get on the horn with Dodgers territory people and be like, hey, maybe we should move this game. Because if they were talking about doing post-game for an 8 o'clock game, which would be
I mean, that'd be a normal 7 o'clock start.
Yeah. Alana will not be awake
that's
for that.
True. No, that's
1,000%. All right. So anyways, I don't know if this was a good final segment here or not. I feel like we talked about a lot of things, but
I want to leave it on a good note.
Okay,
so if your pursuit of getting Clayton Kershaw to Dodger Stadium when he needs 8 strikeouts or something like that, in his career, Coors Field, he has the 4th lowest strikeouts per 9, 5th lowest strikeouts per 9 at Coors Field at 8.2. And he's also already been kind of bad striking guys out to start this early part of the season. So what I'm saying is he'll still be effective because he's Clayton Kershaw and he's really good at preventing runs, but it might not come by way of strikeout. So you
ending this on a positive note is don't worry, Kershaw's going to be bad.
No, I said he's going to be effective and good. It's just not going to come by the way of strikeout. It's going to be a lot of grounders and pop-ups to hopefully Mookie Betts, who catches the ball this time.
Jeff, do you want to try to send us out on a more positive note?
Clayton Kershaw is getting to 3,000 on Thursday. He's going to strike out 17 and throw a perfect game.
No, it's going to happen against the White Sox.
You telling me you wouldn't want a Clayton Kershaw perfect game, even if that meant getting 3,000 strikeouts on the road?
Listen, I'm being greedy about this. He needs to hit 3K in LA. It needs to happen at home. I don't want to have to see that. And another Kershaw career
and it's probably
highlight
because I'm going to be watching it on TV either way. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to be there in person either way. So, although if I had a crystal ball, I knew it was going to happen on Thursday. I'd drive the 7.5 hours and get to.
Yeah, I was going to say, Utah's not that far from Colorado. You could make it.
It's a lot farther than MLB thinks it is when they make their blackout rules. I know that.
Jesus.
Well, all of that is what we have called this first pregame or series preview edition of the show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with us in the chat. We very much do appreciate the comments, engagement. That's why we do the show. We don't want to just talk to each other. We want to talk to people and have fun talking about Los Angeles Dodgers baseball to the fine people here in the chat. So thank you also to our channel members, our Patreon supporters, for helping us continue to bring the best content possible or this, whichever one, somewhere in between. But if you guys are looking for a different way to support the show, the channel, independent Dodgers coverage, again, check out patreon.com/realfrg or click on the join button here on YouTube. It's $5 a month. There's also like $1 one if you want the emojis here on YouTube. It's whatever. But otherwise, the best way to support the show, like it, subscribe, tell your living grandma, tell your pets, friends, the mailman, whoever. We'd appreciate it if you would share the good word of all Dodgers. Over there, all the way on the right side of the screen, that is producer Kevin. Give him a follow at Skinner7Kevin. Right in the middle of Snydog, Jeff Snyder. If you're nasty, give him a follow on the Twitter. And I'm RealFRG on all the social media platforms. We'll see you on the next one of these. Bye.
Bye.